Welcome back, Guardians. Today's video is going to focus on a Prismatic Hunter build using the Ex Diris exotic special grenade ammo weapon combined with Mothkeeper wraps. We're actually going to be able to blind, jolt, and get overshields just by putting this weapon and this exotic together, but we're also going to be able to, when pairing it with Prismatic, stun both champion types with just the throw of one single grenade. Then we're also going to be able to have access to easy damage resist with galvanic armor, free ionic traces through Prismatic, and then the radiant damage weapon buff just by collecting an orb. And it's actually a lot of fun to play this build. I really enjoy it. So let's do a quick overview of the exotic combo of pairing Mothkeeper's wraps with Ex Diris. So the way that this works is with Mothkeeper's wraps, we have the Winged Eclipse perk. Your grenades will become a cage of Loyal Moths. It's going to replace our Prismatic grenade. So instead of having, let's say, Magnetic grenade, it really doesn't matter what I change it to. No matter what, we're going to have the cages of Loyal Moths. It's actually going to be two. So we'll have two of those grenade charges of Loyal Moths. They fly out, they go towards the nearest ally or target. If they reach a target, they detonate in a blinding explosion. We know that blinding stuns unstoppable champions. If they reach an ally, then the Moths will grant your ally, including yourself, a void overshield. If we look at the exotic weapon Ex Diris, this weapon enrages when dealing or taking damage, sustained damage gaining increased rate of fire. So when we deal more damage or take damage, we're going to get a faster rate of fire. But we also have Loyal Moths on the weapon itself. Final blows with this weapon create a Loyal Moth. The Moth then seeks out nearby targets and detonate, damaging and blinding them. So it's the same thing again, but just giving you one on a final blow. But the other thing that's important with this weapon is that the weapon will give you amplified. Final blows with this weapon make you amplified. So right there, we're going to get amplified. And from that point on, we're going to be looking at the subclass now. So open up with your Withering Blade. You'll get yourself Radiant through Facet of Dawn. Then you're going to want to perform a Gambler's Dodge, preferably close to an enemy, so you can refund a melee charge of Withering Blade and you'll deploy your Threaded Specter. At that point, if you haven't secured a Ex Diris weapon kill, you could use your grenade, which will be the Cage of Loyal Moths. To send that out and blind an enemy, and you should go invisible. When you're invisible, you can use another Withering Blade to be able to weaken that enemy. Now you're going to keep getting invisibility because the Moths are going to go out and find other enemies. They're going to track them down and they're going to blind them when they defeat them. You go invisible there. We also are looking at the star fragment of the build. Facet of Dominance is very important because your art grenade is going to be able to jolt, and the jolt will stun overload champions, and the Loyal Moth intrinsically blinds unstoppable champions, so that will also stun unstoppables as well. While all the Moths are out and killing enemies, they're also going to be able to give you that Overshield Moth that's going to come to your aid and provide you an overshield, but you're also going to be able to pick up orbs using Facet of Purpose. And because we're using the Shadow Shot Deadfall, the Void super on Prismatic, when we pick up an orb of power, we're going to get the Void Overshield. So we should at a lot of times have a full Void Overshield covering our entire health bar from our Loyal Moths that aid us, as well as picking up any orbs. And then last but not least is Facet of Awakening. Because we're defeating enemies with light damage, which is Arc from Ex Diris, we're going to generate an elemental pickup of the matching damage type, and that's going to be an Ionic Trace, and that's going to help provide us ability energy. Now let's move on to talking about the artifact mods. Now when it comes to the weapons that you're going to be using, this is going to be just reflective of what you're going to be using in your primary ammo weapon slot. Then when it comes to this column, make sure that you go with Authorized Mods Scavenger. This one's really important because we're going to be able to discount the Scavenger, and we're building on Special Finisher in the build to be able to keep a loop of ammo active for Ex Diris, so Authorized Mods Scavenger is very important. Then we have Elemental Siphon. Rapid final blows with a kinetic weapon are going to be able to create an elemental pickup that matches our equipped super. We have Shadow Shot Deadfall Tether on, so we're going to generate Void Breaches, which is really cool because we're going to be able to get 12.5% class ability energy by picking up one of those Elemental Siphon pickups, which is the Void Breach. Over here, I just went with press the advantage in this column for the second mod. That takes us into counter energy. Counter energy is going to be able to give us some extra ability energy for our least charged ability when we stun a champion. We can stun champions plenty easily with our Loyal Moth grenades. Then we have Radiant Orbs. While we have a solar or prismatic subclass equipped, picking up an orb of power will make us radiant. Then galvanic armor states that when you have a prismatic subclass equipped, incoming damage from combatants is reduced when amplified. One kill with Ex Diris will make you amplified, so this is very easy to proc, almost as easy as the getaway artist consuming your grenade on Warlock. Then the new mod that we're going to have in this build is going to be Shock and Awe. With our prismatic subclass equipped, Arc Final Blows, when we're amplified, are going to summon a burst of lightning that damages and jolts targets. So another way to jolt enemies as well there. Then Shield Crush will help us because when we have an Overshield, our melee is going to recharge faster, and we get Overshields very easily from our Loyal Moths. When we're amplified or radiant, our grenade is going to recharge faster and also deal increased damage. So that's going to buff the damage that the Loyal Moth is going to put out. And that's going to wrap up the artifact mods. So next we need to move into the armor mods. Okay, very important mods that we're going to have to look at in conjunction is going to be Arc Siphon to be able to generate orbs of power on rapid weapon final blows. Arc Reserves is another really good one as well. You don't have to use Arc Reserves, but I feel that it helps with Ex Diris. And then we have Arc Scavenger and Special Finisher. So when we do a Special Finisher after we have enough orbs of power, the Arc Scavenger is going to kick in conjunction with the Arc Reserves and give us a good amount of special ammo. Now, we also have Firepower and Heavy Handed to be able to generate some additional orbs of power there. I run Heavy Ammo Finder because we have Special Finisher. We don't really need to worry about finding special ammo. Reaper, so every time that we use our class ability, we can generate another orb of power from getting a kill with Ex Diris. Powerful Attraction, when we dodge, we're going to be able to vacuum up orbs. Absolution, reducing cooldowns on orb pickup. Recuperation to get some health on that orb pickup as well. A couple resistance mods match the threat that's incoming, and then Concussive or Sniper, your preference there. Run Impact Induction because we're able to spam a lot of melees when we are Transcendent. So this can help reduce your grenade energy in that Transcendence and help you spam the Hailfire grenade. So pretty much this is all that you need to have. Adjust your other Siphon mod here accordingly, whether you're using a kinetic weapon, strand weapon, or stasis weapon. I was using back and forth between Rufus Fury and Multi-Mox, so just adjust accordingly there. As for your heavy weapon, just use what is best for the situation, whether you're using linear, a grenade launcher, or maybe a rocket launcher such as the one I'm using here. So that's going to wrap up everything for the build. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.
Let's go to see